Welcome back, everybody. This this will be brief. By my standards, this will be brief. What sits before you is Jolly Green. Jolly Green is built was a defender. That's how he was born. Uh, Over time, his wheelbase got shortened. Virtually every part got replaced. I mean, it still has like the stock little servos, the micro servos, the receiver box, stuff like that. But most everything has been changed, and of course, most notably, it's running that Chevy body, which Chevy GM K10, which I am a fan of. But the problem with Jolly Green, essentially since his inception, is our good friend the Hobbywing Axe, which with the 3300 in there, this thing will do like 25 miles an hour. So there's no real way to gear this thing down enough to get it to be a manageable vehicle. So I have complained at length in more than one video about how I would love to build a 6x6, but like just basically the financial constraints of it. Like legitimately, I can build 3 rigs for the cost of a one 6x6. Then introduce the power of 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 a clear viewpoint, someone who can see the situation from the outside. And it was the simplest comment where, and I will put that up on the screen, where someone basically just said, "Hey, why don't you just add another axle to Jolly Green and make him a 6x6?" And it was like I wanted to punch myself in the face, because I've had this guy over a year and have been thinking about a 6x over a year, but don't want to drop that TRX6 money knowing that I'm not going to use a lot of it. So now what we have is TRX6 chassis rails, a complete axle from Jenny's just in case I need the parts from it, another pair of hunks because it's going to stay on hunks, another pair of Desert Lizards to go in the middle there, matching shock towers to the existing shock towers. The most important, TRA 8830, this is the rear sub-member to mount the third axle. The rear axle, because the diff is mounted in the opposite direction on their rear axle, so you need the 8837. I learned this, a specific rear axle housing. There is the third member for the new center axle housing. And then we get to, 8850, the little wee babby drive shaft that goes between the intermediate axle and the rear axle. And then we get to where, much as I asked for assistance in painting Zoidberg, who came out great. I have ordered these wheels. I ordered another set, but Lord knows when they'll come. Luckily, I have a full set of these. I have a full set of these. I have 2 full sets of Steelies. 3 full sets. I have these as well. So, no matter what, I will manage to get, like if it takes another couple weeks to get the next set of wheels, that's fine. I've got others. I will have to figure out what to do about foams. I don't know if I have a firm enough set, but this is the beauty of the 6x6. These can just be the rears, and then all I have to do is find more suitable foams for that. Anyway, that's way down the line. I've also got the stub axles, which I might not need because I have that full axle from Jenny's. I also bought ring and pinion, so I've got ring and pinion. So I bought the Jenny's axle because it's $40, and I can't go wrong with having the parts. That said, you've got our good friend, the locker cable. And from what I understand, the TRX6 uses one locker servo to lock both rears. I'm going to have to like see a picture of that to see how that operates. Or, and this is where I would like to get an opinion or two, I did buy a pair of just spools. So, I mean, significantly less complicated to drop those spools in there, leave the locker, the remote locker in the front, and just go to spools in the rear. Because then I only need 1, 2, 3, 4 channels. I can put this guy on this Radiolink RC4 GSV2, which is still in the box, hasn't even been opened yet. So, but I don't know. Like, do I need to leave? Do I need the full unlocker treatment? Which, truth be told, the way it's set up on the FlySky GT5 now, I very rarely unlock them. So going 6x, I don't know. Like, I'd like to be able to unlock the front, you know, for turning radius. But this thing has more than enough power. This thing can Tokyo Drift. So I don't know if I need the rear. Is it worth it to deal with the complexity of rear lockers and then not being able to use and not being able to use the RC4, because that's 5 channels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, that is 5 channels. So I also unbuilt, still in the bag from when I built the sport kit, I have a single speed gearbox. So that's yet another option. Leave the 2-speed in there, or put in a single speed, as we know that it's got too much. Like, second gear is effectively unusable in this thing, as it's just too fast. So there it is. This is the next project. This isn't, it came from the workbench. This will dominate the workbench for the next week or two. Oh, and yes, another question. What do we do? What do we do about the body? Like I knew the frame rails were long, but holy crap. I mean, the frame rails are 5 inches longer than this thing bumper to bumper. So what do I do? Like, my dream is a Unimog on the front, and then I will build a rear end. And my friends, I have scoured the internets in an attempt to find like the axial UMG10 body, and like, I guess they don't exist anymore. So I've been looking at what's available in just cabs. I know there's the Sendero, you can get the cab, you can get just a creep cab. Again, trying to stay away from Proline, but there's that Power Wagon. I think it would get destroyed on this thing, but what am I going to do? I don't want to put a Mercedes 6x6 on it. It's got to be something different. Like, if I got this thing to look like a deuce and a half, that would be amazing. I'd have to replace all the wheels, but you know what? I love these white deep dishes. They would go right on something else. So if you're in here now, you're here at the ground floor, the initiation of the Jolly Green 6x6 conversion project. He's going to be big, mean Jolly Green. And I'll also ask, seeing as this is going to be like a 12-minute video, how much of this do you folks want to see? Like, do you just want to see what it's done after each step? Or do you want to see this thing get broken down? Do you want to see the whole deal? Also, please, comments below if anybody has a source for like where to look for cab bodies. I don't want to drop like $70 on a cab Viterra's got one as well. I don't want to drop a bunch of money where I just want a cab, like a cab from whatever. Doesn't matter. I can work with the mounts to get it to fit. I will probably end up doing some. I doubt that this will be the bumper. I seriously doubt that will stay the rear bumper. So there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of tinkering here. So the questions in conclusion: keep the rear lockers, yes or no? Put in a single speed in place of the two speed, or leave the two speed just for the absolute hoonability of it, because we're gonna have 6 wheels worth of traction now. Was that it? That might have been it. Oh, and help me find a body. So that's that. Big Mean Jolly Green, the project, 6x6, coming soon to a screen of whatever size of your choosing real soon. Thanks for watching, everybody. Absolutely stay tuned for the next one of these.